Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today we've got the latest news and rumors surrounding the black and gold to cover on today's show. First up, I'm going to be breaking down why are people slandering Minkah Fitzpatrick. I've seen a lot of this on Steelers Twitter, and today I'm going to nip that in the bud, tell you why Minkah Fitzpatrick is actually having a very good season here in 2024. Then we'll go into Joey Porter Jr., another guy I'm seeing getting some slander on Steelers Twitter, and why I think that he is still a very good and a legit number one corner in the National Football League. Then we'll finish up today's show with what Mike Tomlin had to say about Diontae Johnson, kind of taking a little jab at him on Tomlin Tuesday yesterday. Now, before we get into the show, man, make sure you click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. It really does help out the YouTube algorithm. It helps out the show. And it takes a half second of your time. It really does help us out here, guys. So I want to extend my gratitude for all the support you give to the channel. Make sure you click that thumbs up icon to help out today's video. Okay, so let's get into Minkah Fitzpatrick here, because I'm seeing a lot of people on Steelers Twitter saying, man, he doesn't have an interception this year, so he stinks. And it's like, this is the most base argument I have ever heard in my life. And it just, if you say this on Steelers Twitter, I think you're kind of telling on yourself that you don't actually watch the Steelers defensive film. Because when you watch the film, Minkah Fitzpatrick is flying around. He's playing instinctive football. And honestly, opposing offenses are avoiding him. So I think people look at the reduced number of PBUs according to his career average. You look at the reduced number of interceptions, no interceptions to this point, and you look at kind of the lack of true impact plays that are super easy to identify on Sundays. I can understand why people are like, where's Minkah Fitzpatrick? But it's kind of hard to make those impact plays if they never throw it your way. And that's what's been happening with Minkah Fitzpatrick this year. The Pittsburgh Steelers this year on defense, on throws over the middle of the field, only 64 catches. That's first in the NFL. Okay, so they're allowing the least amount of catches over the middle of the field in the National Football League. And then also, they're allowing the lowest amount of yards in the National Football League this year as well, with passes over the middle of the field. So offenses are just straight up avoiding Minkah Fitzpatrick. And guys, over the middle of the field, you have any idea where Minkah Fitzpatrick lines up most of the time? It's right here in the middle of the field as a single high deep safety. And he's going into the middle of the field. He's buzzing into that hook zone as well. So he is somebody that offenses are identifying and saying, we're not even going to mess around with Minkah Fitzpatrick. He is so good. And, you look especially at the teams with good quarterbacks that know how to identify top players, guys like Aaron Rodgers that have been doing this for a long time. They completely avoided Minkah Fitzpatrick on the field. They always identify where this guy is on the field because he is so instinctive, and they know that he can be a game-wrecking talent. They've seen him do it on film for multiple years at this point, and that is why you don't see the big-time splash plays for Minkah Fitzpatrick this year. And honestly, guys, I do think that you're going to see some of those splash plays later in the season. I'm not saying Minkah's going to have no interceptions this year, right? But I do think that he's getting a little bit of slander on Steelers Twitter because he's not having those splash plays, and that's what fans usually only care about. So I look at Minkah, I think he's a really good player. And then also, if you look at the PFF grade, all right, and listen, PFF grades aren't gospel, but right now he is tied with Deshaun Elliott, somebody that on Steelers Twitter people praise all the time. And I love Deshaun. I think he's been a great addition for the Steelers defense, and he's making some really nice plays as a box safety. He absolutely is. But Minkah Fitzpatrick's impact is just as good, if not better, because he completely dominates the middle of the field, and he really does make opposing quarterbacks avoid the entire middle portion of the field entirely. So big shout out to Minkah and Deshaun Elliott for being a really dominant duo for the Pittsburgh Steelers on defense in the secondary this year, and they're a big reason why this defense is as good as it has been through the first 10 weeks of the NFL schedule. So true or false? Let me know if you guys think this is true or false, okay? Minkah is still a top 10 safety in the NFL today. Type T if you think that's true, or type F if you think that's false. In just a second here, I'm going to be telling you guys about our sponsor today at Prize Picks. And while I'm talking about Prize Picks, let me know if you still think Minkah Fitzpatrick is a top 10 safety. Okay, now let's talk about Prize Picks, our sponsor today. And Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action all on your phone this sports season. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if your picks don't hit. or if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Also, Prize Picks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, where every Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. And guys, it's more than just football. Basketball and hockey season just got going. There's some big fights coming up very soon. You guys can get your Prize Picks projections in on all these different sports. If you guys want to get in on the action right now and start having some fun watching these sporting events, download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly when you use code CLNS after playing your first $5 lineup on the Prize Picks app today. Prize Picks, run your game. So another player that I've been seeing getting a little bit of flack, especially after this last game against the Washington Commanders, is number one corner for this Steelers defense, Joey Porter Jr. Now, of course, the Steelers took him at the top of the second round just a couple of drafts ago. Had a really, really promising rookie campaign. And this year, I think that on film, he's been pretty darn good. But let's take a look at his numbers here from a statistical point of view. So he's allowed 26 catches, 365 yards, a passer rating of 94.5, and a 54.0 PFF grade is what he's sitting at right now, which right now is 91st out of 109 cornerbacks. So PFF doesn't really like what Joey Porter Jr. has been putting on film this year. So let's compare that to the 11 starts that Joey Porter Jr. had last year. Okay, so he's already given up more catches this year. He only allowed 25 catches in 2023. He allowed 385 yards total in 11 games started last year. He's already approaching that number. He allowed a lower passer rating last year at 68.8, and his PFF grade was higher than it is this year. So there's some people that are saying Joey Porter Jr. has been a disappointment this season. Now, for me personally, as somebody that watches every single snap of this team, both live on the watch parties we have out here on Steelers Talk, but also multiple times on film, I'm not too worried about Joey Porter Jr., okay? And, you know, there are instances where he's too grabby and he gets too many penalties. Especially in that last game against the Washington Commanders, there's some times where he goes up against a true number one receiver like a Terry McLaurin, and he absolutely toasts him. I mean, out of the 65 yards that he has given up this year, a lot of that came against Terry McLaurin last week, who put up 5 catches for 113 yards just last week. All right, so Joey did not have his best game against the Washington Commanders, and I think a lot of the negative stuff that we've been discussing here, it can really be attributed to really this one game against the Commanders. I think when you look at the big picture here of the entire season, Joey Porter Jr. has played very similarly to how he played in his rookie season. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, still plays a bit undisciplined at times, but he is still shutting down number one receivers at a very reliable pace. Here is the current data right now when it comes to the highest lockdown percentages. Okay, so this is the percentage of snaps where obviously the defender is in pass coverage, where the cornerback shuts down the opposing wide receiver. Right now, Joey Porter Jr. is first in this category according to Pro Football Focus with a 65.42 lockdown rate. He was also tops in the league in this category last year, and the reason why this is because he is so physical. Now, that physicality is going to lead to some dumb penalties at times, but I'm going to take the shutdown percentages against these number one wideouts every single day of the week, and I do think as Joey Porter Jr. gets better and better throughout the course of his career, I think that, like I said, guys, I think he's just going to get better in this defense the more he plays in it. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comment section. Is Joey Porter Jr. a legit number one corner, or is he overrated? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section by giving me a yes or a no down there in the comments. Now, before I go here, we do have some final items to discuss here on Steelers Talk. First of which being a couple of workouts for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the safety position. Reported by Aaron Wilson this morning, the Steelers worked out Marquise Blair, former Seattle Seahawks safety, and then Eric Rowe, somebody that played for this team last year. He came in a really tough spot. Remember, the Steelers had all those safety injuries last year, and they had to go to people late in the year that were on the couch, and Eric Rowe was one of those players. He made some really big-time plays, had an interception. He was all over the place, man. He was really good in this Steelers scheme. So even though I don't think the Steelers necessarily need to add another safety, they honestly have too many safeties as is right now, with guys like Cam Sutton, who can play safety. Terrell Edmonds is now in here, DeMonte KZ, and that's already adding to the two starters in Minkah Fitzpatrick and Deshaun Elliott. So honestly, I don't think the Steelers need a safety, but if you're going to bring one in on a practice squad deal, I don't mind bringing back Death Row whatsoever. He was a fan favorite and one of my favorite players last year that came in a big spot, helped the Steelers make the playoffs. So if they ended up bringing him back, I would have no issue with that whatsoever. Then the final topic on today's show is Mike Tomlin, during Tomlin Tuesday yesterday at his weekly press conference, kind of took a little bit of a jab at former Steelers wide receiver and new Baltimore Ravens receiver Diontae Johnson. Tomlin was asked, "Are you worried about Diontae Johnson this week?" This is what Tomlin's response was. This is just perfect. He says he's not on a lot of their video, and so at this stage of the week, I don't know that I've weighed what he might mean to the matchup. The Ravens have bigger pieces than Johnson with larger roles that are occupying my attention at this part of the week. So pretty much Mike is telling everybody, yeah, Diontae Johnson isn't really a big factor in their offense. And, the thing that makes this so awesome from Mike Tomlin, and in true Mike Tomlin fashion, is that he's right. Okay, Diontae Johnson in the 2 weeks since being traded to Baltimore has been an absolute non-factor in their offense. All right, plain and simply. You take a look at his numbers here, okay? Through the first 2 games, he has 1 catch for 6 yards. I think he has like 19 snaps. 22 snaps, producer Koopa is telling me here. 22 total snaps in 2 weeks. So he's not really getting on the field. And then when he is on the field, he's not getting the ball all that much, right? Zay Flowers is kind of that key guy that they have in that offense. And obviously that's an offense that runs the football a lot. So is Mike Tomlin wrong to say that Diontae Johnson is a relative non-factor in this matchup? Now, I don't think, you can't just let him go, right? You can't not pay attention to him. He is still a very good route runner, but is he priority number 1? Heck, I'm not even sure if he's priority 2, 3, or 4 in this Baltimore Ravens offense right now, and that's not really a slight against Diontae Johnson. That's just the truth. So let me know down there in the comments section, if you were at Acrisure Stadium this weekend, and once they announced Diontae Johnson out on the field, would you boo him or would you cheer for him? Personally, I'm a little bit petty. I'm going to boo for him. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Type B for boo, or type C if you're going to cheer for him for his years of service here in Pittsburgh. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. That'll be the end of today's edition of Steelers News and Rumors. I appreciate all of your guys' support. We got more great Steelers content coming your way tomorrow and throughout the week, getting you guys ready for this highly anticipated matchup with the Ratbirds on Sunday. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, here we go, Steelers.